Is it possible to go from an absolute beginner in a foreign language to an upper intermediate level in just 3 months? Yes, absolutely possible. Let me share my own experience of mastering a foreign language in just 3 months. I usually talk about my journey of studying Korean on this channel, but actually, I speak 4 languages, and English is not my second language, it's actually my third language. And there was a time when I didn't even know how to introduce myself in English. But now I feel pretty comfortable speaking English and I can easily talk about almost any topic in English. I believe that the methods that I use to achieve this are pretty applicable for any other languages, so let me share my tips with you. Just to give you a context, I was never into learning languages at school, but I liked watching American TV shows and movies. The songs that I listened to were mostly in English, so I couldn't help but wonder how cool it would be to understand everything and not rely on translation. But the English classes at school were boring and not exciting at all. So during one summer break, which was almost 10 years ago, by the way, I decided to devote all 3 months of my summer break to mastering a foreign language. I know people usually advise to not learn foreign words without a context, but I disagree with that. If you're an absolute beginner, you can surely start with word lists for beginner level. There are plenty of that type of word list on the internet for any language, so you can start with that. I would study a new list of words every single day, and I always made sure to check if I remembered the words from the previous days. I know it can be frustrating to study word lists and not see an immediate result, because not all beginner-friendly words are frequently used in a language. But remember, it's all about baby steps, and sooner or later, those words will start adding up and you will start catching familiar words while you're listening to a song or watching a movie. I have said it in my previous videos and I will repeat it again. It doesn't matter what language you're studying, consistency is a key, especially if you want to see a fast result. I was studying almost every single day during my summer break, and I know for sure that if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't see fast results. After a few weeks of studying word lists, I remember how I felt comfortable enough to use my favorite songs or movies as study materials. With songs, it was pretty easy. I will just look up the lyrics and translations and made a word list myself. I also liked listening to the song while following the lyrics. With movies, it was too complicated to make a word list, so I just chose my most watched movies in English that I knew almost by heart, and first would watch those movies with my native language subtitles, and then with only English subtitles. Even though by the end of summer I was a little bit sick of my favorite movies from rewatching them so many times, but it definitely helped me a lot. Also, I would always repeat the lines from the actors from time to time, trying to imitate the pronunciation from the native speakers. After the first month of actively and diligently studying English, I started slowly trying to use it in my everyday life. I didn't know anyone who could speak English back then, so the only way for me to actually use English was journaling in English. I always had a diary as a kid, so I started trying to journal about my days or any worries just that I had during the day in English. It was also a very safe protection from any intruders back then. Of course, it was hard to formulate my thoughts and express myself properly, but it forced me to learn how to express myself with the little amount of words that I knew. Even now, I still make sure to try to improve my knowledge of English with any opportunity that I have. Even having this channel in English helps me to use it from time to time and maintain my knowledge of English. So just find your own way to integrate your target language in your everyday routine. I hope you find these tips helpful. I'll see you in my next video.